Hello, BookTube. I'm going to take it nice and easy today. I'm not going to overdo it, but I have a mail haul for you. We've got 4 packages, and the last one is a box. And not only is the box in accordance with rule number 1 on this channel, which is send me the books, send me all the books. It's also in joyous accordance with that rule. I know exactly what it is, and I can't wait to get to it. But where I'm going to wait, I'm going to do the non-box packages first. They're all from publishers. So they might have something that is really interesting that you might want to put on your watch list or even pre-order. Let's see what this first one is. Okay, the first one is from Minotaur Books. They're a great U.S. publisher of murder mysteries, so that's great because this is, after all, March Mystery Madness. This is the month of March when myself and a bunch of other booktubers are celebrating the genre of murder mysteries. I haven't been doing as much of that celebrating as I would like because I haven't been feeling all that great the month of March, but I still strongly encourage you. And it looks like we might have, we have a new mystery. It says right on it, a mystery. Okay, so what have we got here? This is by Sarah Stewart Taylor, and it is called Distant Grave. And there is the requisite ugly American cover, where it's a woman in a jacket, okay. It's not evocative of anything, doesn't tell me anything, and I'm not the only person who's going to immediately notice where that letter A is going. But leave that aside. Let's see. Last summer, Sarah Stewart Taylor made a splash with her series debut, The Mountains Wild, and that is blurbed on the cover here. I think we saw it on this channel. Widely praised by critics and hit multiple bestseller lists. The Mountains Wild introduced readers to one of the best new leads in crime fiction, Long Island detective Maggie Darcy, an American woman with a deep Irish heritage and roots. This summer, readers can look forward to Taylor's atmospheric and lyrical follow-up, A Distant Grave, which shows up at the end of June, which uncovers another intricate case that bridges Long Island and Ireland. Let's see. Okay, so Maggie Darcy has deep Irish roots and heritage. So her name is Maggie. She has red hair and she dresses kind of dumpy. Okay, that checks all the boxes. Maggie Darcy and her teenage daughter Lily are still recovering from the events of the last fall when a strange new case demands Maggie's attention. The body of an unidentified Irish national turns up in a wealthy Long Island beach community, and with little to go on but the scars on his back, Maggie once again teams up with the Garda detectives in Ireland to find out who the man was and what he was doing on Long Island. The strands of the mystery take Maggie to a quiet village in rural County Clare that's full of secrets and introduces... What quiet village in County Clare is not full of secrets? And introduces her to the world of humanitarian aid workers half a world away. And as she gets closer to the truth about the murder, what she learns leads her back to the home turf and into the range of a dangerous and determined killer who will do anything to keep the victim's story hidden forever. Okay, so what have we got here? This is late June. That certainly sounds very good. I'll have to check it. I'm not going to remember off the top of my head about Mountains Wild, but I'll have to check and see. I don't think I ever reviewed it, but I'm pretty sure I read it. I try to read everything I'm sent. So I'll have to check my my journal and see what the verdict was, if any. Then we have this next one is a cardboard envelope. It says right away that the contents are on sale on April 6th. So that's coming right up. So that's not late June. Let's see what we have here. Something considerably more imminent. What is this? Oh, is this an invoice? This may be an invoice. I may be touching an invoice. Oh my God, I am. I'm touching an invoice. Who knew? No. What have we got here? Oh, fantastic. Great. Okay. This is The Golden Age of the American Essay, 1945 to 1970, edited by Philip Lopate. And have I got it within range here? I have. He did just this year. It's in this room somewhere. He is doing a trilogy of American essay collections. I could have sworn I had it in this room, but maybe not. I read and reviewed the last one, which was the first volume in this trilogy that is going to span the American essay for the whole of its life. I thought that first volume was really good. I loved it. It was a hardcover, but this is going to be an $18 paperback. I believe the two remaining volumes in this trilogy will be $17, $18 paperbacks instead of that hardcover, which is going to drive some of you crazy. Some of you are going to be driven crazy by the fact that they came out in non-matching formats, and that you're going to have to wait for the first book in the series to get a paperback reprint later on down the line. Was it Hank Green? It was one of the Green brothers. I think it was Hank Green who did a hilarious bit in a video 10 years ago or more about this decision on publishers' parts to make their books look non-uniform. I thought that stuck in my mind. It was a heartfelt little ball of complaint on his part, and I could see it in this case. But I love this editor's work. Just love it. Another thing I have in this room that I probably don't have within reach. Of course, I never know what I'm going to get in the mail. He did an absolutely classic anthology called The Art of the Personal Essay. That's in this room somewhere. Big white book. I'm sure that you've seen it in used bookstores. You might have a copy of your own. It's one of the great essay anthologies of all time. So I was primed already to like this trilogy, and I've loved the choices that he's made and the introduction that he's made. I reviewed the first one for, I believe, the Christian Science Monitor, and had some fun. I had some fun in my review. That's always a lot of fun when you have an editorial team, when you have an editor who knows you well enough, is willing to let you have some fun in a review. That isn't as common as you would think. If I remember, I'll leave a link to my review down below, but the volume is incredible. So what have we got here? This is what he calls the Golden Age, 1945 to 1970. I would not agree with that. I would say the Golden Age was probably from 1920 to 1960. So we wouldn't agree, but it's that kind of disagreement that I like in books like this. And that kind of disagreement will carry over to the things that he picks. Let's look at some examples. George Kennan is in here. Edmund Wilson, great, fantastic. Walter Lippmann, Harold Rosenberg, James Baldwin, Stranger in the Village. Mary McCarthy, Artists in Uniform, fantastic. Irving Howe, E.B. White, Nabokov, Saul Bellow, Lionel Trilling, A.J. Liebling, Elizabeth Hardwick. Her essay called Boston is in here. Flannery O'Connor, Some Aspects of the Grotesque in Southern Fiction. That's a brilliant work. John Updike. Randall Jarrell. Oh boy. Randall Jarrell's essay, A Sad Heart at the Supermarket, is in here. Those of you who don't know Randall Jarrell, he also is in this room. His Poetry in the Age is in this room on this bookcase here, and it is immortal. It's a fantastic work. Letter from Birmingham Jail. Martin Luther King is in here. An Evening with Jackie Kennedy. Norman Mailer. Rachel Carson, Susan Sontag, Philip Roth, Richard Hofstadter, Tom Wolfe. Well, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe this is the golden age of American essays. Gore Vidal is in here. Lauren Isley. Edward Hoagland. Fantastic. Hoagland's not well enough known. And we finish off with Joan Didion, On the Morning After the 60s. Okay, all right. Maybe he's right about this being the golden age. I will read the introduction right now. This doesn't come out until early April. It doesn't come out for a couple more weeks, but it's going to come out just like this, as a nice sturdy paperback. And that is great stuff. The stuff that's in here, even glancing at the table of contents, the stuff that's in here is great. So set aside. In this case, I don't have to say, pre-order it or get on a waiting list at your library, or get your library to order it. In this case, I feel a cleaner conscience just saying set aside the $15 and buy it when it comes out. You're not going to find a better editor of essay collections than this guy. So that's fantastic. Just great. That is right up. It's coming right up. I will probably read the introduction and then everything that's in it. I noticed when I was looking at the table of contents, there are only a couple of pieces in there that I know well enough to even begin to tell myself not to reread them. Most of the others I'm not all that familiar with. So I'm off to the races. Fantastic. Then we'll do this next envelope. I'm not going to get overexcited. We're going to take this nice and easy. I can't barrage you with videos all day long if I don't take it easy. So, what is this next one? Another paperback. Oh my. Okay, yeah, this is from Other Press. This is another $17 paperback. What have we got in the way of paperwork here? A huge amount of paperwork. I'm not sure that we need a huge amount of paperwork for this. What have we got here? Oh, I don't want to... Okay, the paperwork's just all blurbs. I guess when you reach this guy's level, you don't need anything but blurbs. This is John Boyne, the author of The Heart's Invisible Furies and Ladder to the Sky. This is a paperback reprint coming out again in April, in mid-April, of the Absolutist by John Boyne in an American edition. This has been out. In fact, it's been mentioned in a few times, mentioned in dispatches on BookTube a couple of times, I believe. Yeah, this is from 2011. This is just a reprint for the American market. Maybe this has never had an American edition before. Yeah, this is mid-April. I don't actually need any of this. I just need that. Let me get rid of all of this folderol. And let me tell you about the book, just in case. This is from other press. I'm not sure what they're expecting in the way of review coverage for a 10-year-old book. I'm not sure that they're expecting any. Well, let's see what we have here. This has a blurb from Colm Tóibín, Colm McCann, and John Irving, who called it a novel of immeasurable sadness. In league with Graham Greene's The End of the Affair. Good Lord. Okay, it is September 1919, and 21-year-old Tristan Sadler takes a train from London to Norwich to deliver a package of letters to the sister of Will Bancroft, the man he fought alongside during the Great War. But the letters are not the real reason for Tristan's visit. He can no longer keep a secret and has finally found the courage to unburden himself of it. As he recounts the horrific details of what, to him, became a senseless war, he also speaks of his friendship with Will, from their first meeting on the training grounds at Aldershot to their farewell in the trenches of northern France. The intensity of their bond brought Tristan happiness and self-discovery, as well as confusion and unbearable pain. Okay, now that I read that plot, don't I remember Shawn the Book Maniac absolutely hating this book with a much prettier UK cover? Don't I remember that? Isn't this the book that drew so much of his ire? Okay, well, this has a back blurb by John Irving and a front blurb by Andre Asselman. So the other press is doing it up just fine for the American market, and it's due real soon, so maybe I'll give it a go. I don't think I've read it before. And then we have the box. Then we have the box, and we'll finish up. And the box comes from snowy, moose-haunted Canada. I know a lot of times I don't know what I'm getting here, but this is from Sarah, the Bookish Knitter, who has a great BookTube channel. I subscribe to lots and lots of BookTube channels, hundreds and hundreds of them, and I love a lot of them for a lot of what they do. But even I, as much as I love a lot of those BookTube channels, even I have a very small category of BookTube channels that are auto clicks, where you see an upload and you're immediately happy, you're immediately going to go right to it. And she is one of them. She is one of those channels. She confines herself almost exclusively to romances, and she loves them. She's a big fan of them, but she doesn't let them get away with murder. She's perfectly happy to be stern with them if they're not good. And she includes a note, great, fantastic, and a box of books. How wonderful. All right, so let's see what we have here from a Bookish Knitter. They're going to be romance novels, obviously. Oh, okay, well, the first one's rather an easy call on her part. This is Amy Wood's Puppy Love for the Veterinarian, a dog-centered romance. This is a Harlequin special edition, and for some unknown reason that's completely unknown to me, Harlequin has not hired Sarah. I don't understand that at all. She says in her self-deprecating way that they don't have a category for superfan, but they certainly have categories that she could fill better than anybody who's filling them now. That's for sure. Because one of the things that Harlequin, as the world's biggest romance publisher, absolutely has to be concerned with is reaching non-romance readers. How many non-romance readers has Sarah converted, even in the tiny time she's been on BookTube? Imagine if she had the institutional heft of Harlequin behind her. She'd have the whole world reading romance novels. And this is a special, especially diplomatic outreach on her part, since of course, apart from having a great BookTube channel, I'll leave a link to her channel down below, but apart from having a great BookTube channel, she also has a great big cat. She's not a dog person at all. She has an enormous cat. Goran is twice the size of Frida. He's twice the size of my dog. He occasionally makes very grudging appearances on her channel. Uh, okay, this is a romantic suspense novel from Harlequin. This is Killer Colton Christmas. Co-written. Regan Black and Lara Lackham. That doesn't often happen. And this also has a K-19. That is, I believe that woman is holding a fox. Is that a fox she's holding? Or, I mean, she's being held by a fox. but is that a fox she's holding? Or is that some fox-like dog? I don't really know. But we have another canine connection. I wonder if they're all going to be. I know one of the things in here isn't a canine connection. Okay, the third one is a canine connection. This is in a must heart dogs series. This is A Dog Between Them. 2 novels, one by Daley Thompson and one by C.J. Carmichael. So this is a little extra thick. This is going to be so much fun to read. I don't know either of these authors. The books are One of a Kind Dad by Daley Thompson and Her Cowboy Dilemma by C.J. Carmichael. And this book perfectly illustrates a phenomenon that so many people, so many friends of mine have observed over the decades, where we've been walking down the street and I will become, perhaps, momentarily distracted by a strapping young man in a tight white t-shirt and a white cowboy hat. And maybe I will become momentarily distracted to the point where my distraction is visible to the person I'm with, to the friend I'm walking with. And then I will be ribbed for the rest of the day. Not because of that momentary distraction, but because that momentary distraction was completely obliterated. No hesitation at all, just completely like it had never happened. If around the corner comes a dog. the strapping young man in the white t-shirt and the white cowboy hat is completely forgotten. And in a couple of cases, twice in Austin and once on the streets of Manhattan, the strapping young man in the white t-shirt was happy with the attention and noticed when it disappeared. When suddenly he might have been on another planet and all I was doing was squatting down at somebody else's eye level and saying, goo 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 boo boo boo. Afraid we can't determine our own priorities. Mine are set in stone. And the strapping young lads in the white t-shirts with the white cowboy hats don't have a chance. Not a chance at all. There's only one person I'm looking at on this cover. So that's fantastic. So the 3 romances that we're added here are all dog themed. I'm getting predictable in my old age. And then the star of the show here. I saw this book on Sarah's channel. She hauled it. And I just squealed. I wanted a copy of my own and went immediately to eBay and Amazon, and they weren't there. They were, ordinarily that's how I satisfy my squealing, is to go there, but they weren't there. But there were still copies at Amazon Canada, and she, like a true mensch, got me a copy of Naughty Brits. Not Naughty Bits, but Naughty Brits. And believe it or not, after that last anecdote, you may or may not believe it, but believe it or not, I mean, I can get a JPEG of this cover anytime I want offline. The thing that really did attract me to this book was the lineup of authors. We have Sarah MacLean, Louise Edwards, Tessa Gratton, Sierra Simone, and the great Sophie Jordan. 2/3 of those authors are in this room, in this romance bookcase right here. To have them all in an anthology doing, short stories and novellas would have attracted me even if there had been, I don't know, a woman on the cover of this book. I would have been intrigued by a big fat anthology of those authors anyway, and who knows, I doubt this will ever have an American edition. Why would it? So I squealed and I set up a fuss like a colicky baby, and Sarah sent me this. Isn't that nice of her? So she sent me this, and as is her way, she was extra generous. So I got a whole bunch of dog-themed, canine-themed romances as well. But I noticed there's something else in this box. What else is... There's a red glove in this box. How enigmatic. How enigmatic. Goodness gracious. There's a red glove in the box. It's a nice design too. I wonder if this is knitted by Sarah herself. It's a nice design because it includes the thumb, but it doesn't include the cutouts for these fingers. And I love fingerless gloves, but they fall apart on me because when you have separate shoots, separate sheaths for each finger, they're prone to deteriorate. Whereas this won't do that and gives you just as much protection. So that's rather neat. I wonder if I'll get the second glove in another installment. Maybe these things take forever to make. But that is fantastic. All right, so that is, I can't do a Steve pyramid because Or maybe I can. Yes, I'll just leave those until the end. So we have A Murder Mystery, A Distant Grave by Sarah Stewart Taylor. The distant grave in question being an Irish national from County Clare who ends up dead on Long Island. Then The Golden Age of American Essay, edited by Philip Lopate. Fantastic. As a paperback original, coming to you in a couple of weeks. And also in a couple of weeks, the Absolutist by John Boyne gets a new American trade paperback. I can't off the top of my head think if it's ever had an American edition. But I'm going to have to look at Shawn's channel and see if this is the one that sent him into ecstasies of outrage. And also curious to know, I mean, he and I have very, very different tastes, but I have nothing but respect for him as a reader of fiction. When he analyzes a book to tell me in a video why he dislikes it, I pay attention. And I'll have to see if we actually agree on this book. I know we agree on some books and have a drastic disagreement on others, so that'll be fun all by itself. And then we'll wrap up. We wrap up this mail haul with Naughty Brits. Thank you so much to Sarah. That is fantastic. Killer Colton Christmas with a fox on the cover. Puppy Love for the Veterinarian with 2 puppies on the cover. And A Dog Between Them. 2 books with a beautiful boo on the cover. There you go. Plus an enigmatic single knitted glove. Could this mean? Anyway, that's the mail for today. I count this as a successful mail haul. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.